Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Innovate Finance, our podcast series where we speak to industry leaders on financial innovation and FinTech. Our podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts. My name is Laura McLean. I'm a marketing associate at Innovate Finance, and I'm delighted to be joined here today by Jerzy Biernacki, Chief AI Officer at Miquido. In today's episode, we're diving into the transformative realm of AI and FinTech, exploring its significance, real-world application, and the benefits it offers. Despite his executive position, Jerzy actively helps clients develop AI-driven mobile and web solutions. With a wealth of experience, he has collaborated with major brands such as PZU, Play, Aviva, Onkyo, and HelloFresh. Jerzy has played a crucial role in establishing and growing the R&D and AI departments at Miquido. He holds a PhD in computer science from AGH University of Science and Technology in Krakow, Poland. Jerzy, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Lauren. I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you. Well, this is a really exciting episode for both of us because this is the first episode I've ever hosted. And it's also the first time we've ever welcomed someone with a AI in their title. So really excited to be doing this today, and I'm really excited to see what we have to uncover. So for anyone who hasn't heard of the brand Miquido, what do they do, and how is AI and machine learning integrated within Miquido's model?
So Miquido is a software house that supports enterprises and startups alike in delivering innovative digital products. And we not only help our partners in digital acceleration, but also enable dynamic development through building mobile, web, and cross-platform solutions, but also artificial intelligence, of which I'm kind of an ambassador, right? And we started with AI department back in 2017, so that's much earlier than most of our competitors. And for over 6 years now, we implemented many AI-enhanced software solutions utilizing machine learning, computer vision, and business intelligence. So basically, if you want to create a solution from scratch, we've got you covered, from ideation through architecture and then implementation, and to deployment and maintenance. And we also can integrate easily with existing solutions. And developing dozens of AI projects, we started to create our own products as well, and AI modules that we can easily integrate with infrastructure for our clients. And the recent ones focus mainly on generative AI and include custom interactive knowledge bases, AI-enhanced customer support systems, and extremely interesting interactive modules that allow you to speak with your data. So in other words, to use natural language to get information from your data sources instead of writing code or using database query language like SQL. And yeah, that's Miquido in a nutshell.
Oh, wow. The audio tool sounds really, really interesting. I've never even heard of that being on the market. So that sounds fantastic. So let's dive into your strategy. So what unique strategies or approaches does Miquido adopt when collaborating with FinTech companies to implement AI solutions?
I think our modus operandi is quite simple. We find places or processes that we can optimize, analyze them, and suggest the best solutions and implement them. And I think the first part is really crucial. So finding the right things to optimize and to get most return on investment, or to get the results fast enough is not something that can be done without some extensive experience in developing tech solutions. And we have experience in spades. We've implemented over 200 projects, and dozens of them in FinTech, for startups and big brands like we work with BNP Paribas, with Santander, SBAB, China Bank, Maya Bank, Next Bank, and just to name a few. And only last year we implemented over 20 different generative AI projects. And yeah, that's basically a lot of experience to base on. And both research and our own experience show that many companies struggle with finding the business cases that could benefit from the usage of artificial intelligence. That may sound surprising, but that's what they say, the research and also our experience. And there are many reasons for that. Usually, it comes to regulations, security policies, maybe lack of experience, lack of talent, and these are just a few examples. But the fact is that often we can usually point out the solutions that are relatively easy to implement, but bring significant ROI in relatively short time, like a few months or 1 year. And we utilize tools like market research, brainstorming sessions, problem workshops, proof of concept implementations, all to help to get to the bottom of the problem and implement the best possible solutions that bring real value to the business.
Have you got any like examples of companies that you've seen like the biggest ROI in implementing AI solutions?
I think generally I could give you some examples on AI use cases that changed the landscape for FinTech. Probably the one that is closest to our hearts is credit scoring, because we implemented a machine learning based credit scoring solution that is deployed in 7 banks in Asia and was nominated to some prestigious awards like Singapore FinTech Award. And what it does, it basically automates the assessment process performed by banks and financial institutions to help them determine the probability whether a given individual is going to repay an offered loan. And unlike other popular solutions on the market, it doesn't use scorecards, but it's based on machine learning, and it utilizes data about the client. It can be both like credit history, but also data including client demographics, history of transactions on the deposit accounts, and several behavioral patterns. And the solution automates and shortens the decision process from like hours to seconds. So that's definitely a big ROI. And another popular use case for artificial intelligence in FinTech is fraud detection, because AI is generally really good at detecting patterns, and it can detect and flag anomalies in the financial activities really, really well. Also, processing documents is another important use case, especially with the help of large language models. And use cases here, such as automated analysis, synthesis, and generation of text, are becoming much easier to implement and therefore provide reliable ROI, basically replacing many mundane tasks. And also, we can forget about customer service and customer support, because these are usually significant costs for FinTech companies.
Yeah, really interesting. And so interesting that you mentioned fraud as well, because everyone's talking about APP fraud at the moment. So that was really interesting. Thank you. What critical areas within FinTech where AI has made the most impact according to your experience from that?
Well, the solutions that I mentioned, they're most based on classic machine learning, and they are more or less known to the market. But recent advancements in generative AI is really interesting. And if FinTech companies really hasn't focused on it already, they definitely should, because FinTech is one of the industries that's going to benefit most from generative AI, because the specificity of the FinTech sector requires processing a large amount of textual documents, many tasks both within the organization, internal processes, and in interactions with clients require efficient natural language processing. And before, it had to be done mostly by humans, but now it can be done at least partially by AI, and it can be automated using large language models. And in terms of automating internal processes, large language models contribute to, well, basically more efficient processing of applications, documents, and that translates into faster and more accurate decision making and better organization of work. And basically shortening the document processing translates into real customer satisfaction. And in the area of customer support and customer service, large language models allow for the creation of conversational shopping experiences or advanced chatbots that provide information about products and services in really like natural way.
Yeah.
And for example, they can be used to summarize and translate difficult documents like regulations or contracts for customers, and such support is really invaluable for customers that are not necessarily familiar with industry terminology, or they just want to quickly obtain some specific information and without having to go through like several dozen page documents. And this allows users to basically gain confidence in using fintech solutions. And it can also be amazing for foreigners, so people who are not native speakers and may have trouble understanding the product or service that you sell. And we can provide them assistance in their native language using large language models. Also, I like the example of mortgage advisors because mortgage loans are basically like complex and often quite scary. And on the other hand, question answering and simplification based on provided information is something that AI really excels at. So we have a really good match here to automate that.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you've seen how much generative AI and machine learning has transformed even over the past year. So that's really interesting. And yeah, let's dive into what challenges you think or obstacles do companies commonly face when adopting AI in their fintech solutions? Because we've mentioned how they can benefit, like what are the challenges? What are the drawbacks for them?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that it might be quite surprising, but most common problem with AI adoption is finding the right business case for it, and that often comes to lack of experience, maybe in implementing such solutions. And as we've implemented dozens of these in recent years, well, we if you can't find ideas for utilizing AI, I would definitely recommend you to at least try starting a discussion with companies such as Miquido. I haven't said that, but there are certain risks, right? And they might be connected with external factors like regulations. And sometimes something can go wrong, and you have to think about, is there a secure and reliable solution feasible given the available technology, resources, and external factors like regulations. And you need to consider also whether something can be done without AI, because we need to make one thing clear: AI is not always the best solution for every problem, and oftentimes solutions that don't require machine learning are actually better suited to automate the processes, especially if you can define clear rules that apply to a given process. And in this case, you just don't need machine learning. And AI often is also only a part of a solution. It might be a crucial part without which the whole solution doesn't make much sense. But we can't forget about the rest of the system. And to illustrate this, I might give you an example of autonomous vehicles, because it's not a single model that steers the car. It's a collection of components that are working with each other, and each is doing specific tasks like detecting obstacles or navigation or reading road signs or keeping distance between vehicles. And some of these components don't use AI at all. So yeah, in many cases you don't need AI, and yeah, AI is not a silver bullet. So sometimes it's better not to use it. And based on our experience, we can usually tell what's the best solution for a given problem. And there are problems associated strictly with AI, like regulations, explainability, AI bias, and security issues, and also hallucinations in terms of generative AI. But most of these obstacles can be overcome, and that's basically what our consulting services are all about.
Okay, well, fantastic. So given all that, so we've seen blended models being integrated into businesses. We've seen people saying, you can't have, this isn't suitable for you, and maybe AI is suitable for you. Where do you envision AI heading in the fintech industry in the next 5 to 10 years from now?
I think we'll rely more and more on AI. In heavily regulated industries such as fintech, human will still have much to say, especially when it comes to having the final word. But AI will automate most paperwork, perform more and more mundane tasks, and give insights and maybe create some reports. But it will still be humans who make the final decision. I think we'll also rely more and more on large language models. And I think prompt engineering and prompt design, and well, generally speaking, ability to efficiently and effectively communicate with AI to get the required outputs, this will become a crucial skill to have. And this will change both the way the process work in organizations, but will definitely also impact the user interface in applications, because people actually start to expect apps to be helpful and provide reliable insights, not only information, but insights really fast. And I think also conversational shopping will become kind of a thing, definitely become more and more popular. And yeah, I think 10 years is a very long time, and technology is changing so fast right now that it's really hard to predict where we'll be in 10 years. I don't expect to have general artificial intelligence or human level AI in 10 years, but even without it, AI will greatly increase the efficiency in which we work and influence the global economy.
I completely agree. Do you think it will expand in terms of accessibility as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. That's all for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Jerzy, thank you so much for joining us. And join us next time for another episode of Coffee with Innovate Finance. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.